Hello viewers out there, welcome to special features on EDSU TV, reaching you live from Edo State University Uzairue. I am Kenneth Isoya. On today's episode, we have a very special guest in the studio. He is a professor of communication and integrated marketing communication expert. He is a lecturer with National Open University of Nigeria, and also he is the external examiner for PhD students, Department of Mass Communication, Edo State University Uzairue. He is Professor Samaila Mande. You are welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much for being here.
First, on the segment of today is, sir, what is your purpose for coming to Edo State University Uzairue?
Well, that's very interesting. I want to thank you so much for that question, and to say that my purpose of coming to Edo University Uzairue is an official engagement, official assignment. I was invited by the university through a letter by the College of Postgraduate Studies, and it's based on the recommendation, because I'm quite sure there were some other scholars that their names were forwarded, and then mine was selected that I should, I'm considered appointed as an external examiner for their students in the Department of Mass Communication. And so when I got the letter and all that, so I tried as much as I can to tell them the date that will be feasible for me to come. And so yesterday was the day for my arrival, so I came into Edo University Uzairue yesterday. And right there, I came into the system, and the environment, to me, this is another, sparkling system, sparkling university in Nigeria. So I'm here principally for an academic assignment, an academic responsibility, which has to do with external examination. Yeah, so that's what brought me to Edo University Uzairue.
Yes, sir. So that means you being recommended to come here. It means so much for us. It's a privilege to have you here in Edo State University Uzairue. Thank you very much for coming to our great institution.
Thank you so much.
Moving on, sir, as an external examiner, to produce the first PhD students in the Department of Mass Communication, Edo State University Uzairue, can you share with us your experience with the candidates and other scholars?
Wow, this is very interesting, because this is your question. I must say that is going to generate and probably regenerate some developments. Incidentally, I'm not new in Edo State. As a matter of fact, I was in Edo State in 2002 to 2011. I happen to be among those who founded the Department of Mass Communication at Edo University Okada. As a matter of fact, I served as the head of department in that department, and then see how things come up and all that. My great friend and a great dependable ally, that's Professor Andrew Sanate. Incidentally, we all work together there at the Department of Mass Communication at Edo University Okada. So we were there, and why am I saying this? Because we pioneered the Department of Mass Communication. Incidentally, I happen to be the first PhD student that also graduated from Edo University Okada. And so what I saw today was, I say it's like a homecoming, even though not in Benin, but in this case is in Uzairue, but this is the homecoming in Edo State for me. And because when I got there, I was surprised to now realize that among the internal examiners, one of the internal examiners, or the internal examiner for the examination, was my own PhD supervisor. That's Professor Marcel Ohahu. Professor Marcel Ohahu was one of my supervisors for my PhD. Incidentally, because I had two supervisors then, the other person is of the blessed memory today. That's Professor Barnabas Agbonfo. Professor Barnabas Agbonfo is a professor of marketing, a scholar of marketing with high repute and all this. He passed on some years ago. So incidentally, the two of them were the one that brought me up in that area. And like the kind of assignment we're doing today, I will remember the external examiner that came for my doctoral examination was Professor Ikechukwu Nwosu of the blessed memory. And both of them are of the blessed memory today. So, I now saw myself, okay, so I'm now coming to Edo State to perform a role. And in this case, a role of as an external examiner. I happen to be the first PhD produced at the University of Canada. That's about almost 15 years ago. And now this time around, I'm coming to Edo State Uzairue to now examine a candidate produced by another university, in this case, the Department of Mass Communication Uzairue, and that's why I came here for that assignment. And to me, it's highly memorable, it's historical, and it is topical, and it's something that I highly cherished from the bottom of my heart and all that.
So, okay, so that means you coming to Edo State University Uzairue is like an homecoming for you. It's like a homecoming for you. Absolutely. Due to the fact that you were also a part of Edo University Okada.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for that.
And like what you said, because you asked a question, I think you talked about how was the interaction with the student or whatever. Yes. Yeah, it's quite interesting. In fact, the product produced, the product baked, the product drilled, the product examined is indeed a dependable product. I say so because the candidate was indeed highly prepared, resourceful, by the content of his work, quite commendable, and it's in conformity with the standard laid down by the College of Postgraduate Studies of Uzairue. And then the members of the panel were there. It's not only physically, we also had people that also were part of us virtually. That's to tell you that it's not only a physical engagement or whatever, there was also a virtual engagement, because one of the internal examiner, Professor Marcel Okaku, was far away in the United States of America and was with us virtually in what we did. So the dean, the provost of the College of the Postgraduate Studies was there, live and all that. So he took part in all that we did and all that, and other members of the department, senior members of the department, with the supporting staff of the university, they were there. And so the candidate performed creditably well. And I must say that, yes, his topic incidentally is something that has to do with community relations and corporate social responsibility and appraisal of Bayelsa State. And so, in other words, today we're talking about corporate social responsibility, we're talking about community relations. So he was able to dissect, and then the theories and the models that he effectively used in his study were highly commendable and legendary. And the recommendations for those works are quite clear. And of course, in every academic work, yes, there could be some minus or whatever, and some of those minuses were able to point them out, which I believe that he will try as much as he can to get that based on what I said. And of course, it will be confirmed by the internal examiner of the work, and that's quite commendable. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Moving on. Sir, as an expert in integrated marketing communications, how can we use IMC to improve on leadership recruitment in Nigeria?
Wow, this is a double-barrel dimension. Yes, I'm an expert in the area of marketing communication, an expert in that area, yes, because my professorship is in the field of marketing and communication. Okay. And so my coming here today is an aspect of my professorship that I've come to, in other words, put into action. That's been in communication present. Now, your question about the role or the expectation of integrated marketing communication in leadership recruitment, yeah, it's quite clear that we need to understand when we're talking about IMC, the integrated marketing communication we're now talking about has to do with the convergence, the combination of the various elements of communication, the various elements of the P's of marketing. When we're not talking about the P's of marketing, I'm talking about the product, the price, the place, and the promotion. And under the promotion is the promotion that gave birth to those elements we're not talking about. The promotion gave birth to advertising, promotion gave birth to publicity, promotion gave birth to personal selling, promotion gave birth to sales promotion, and promotion gave birth to exhibition, and promotion gave birth to branding and packaging. So by what we are now talking about in a way, we're not talking, how can this now be used in leadership recruitment? What that means is that advertising, for example, should be very, very clear to come up with the expected qualities, the expected attributes of who should be a leader. And they should make it clear that the leader should be someone who is selfless, somebody who has the fear of God, somebody who is committed, somebody who has the attribute so that he will be so doing. If those things are stated and advertised, when I say advertised, they are now being showcased, then that will be there. You can also do that via public relations. So that at the end of the day, once it comes to leadership recruitment, you can even sample and check. Does this person have what it takes? If he doesn't have, you also let the people know. All the elements of IMC that I mentioned can effectively be applied in such a way that when it comes to leadership recruitment, you can do that. And aside from that one, it's not only leadership recruitment, but also in organizational development. Because today in our university here, which is Edo University Uzairue, you need advertising. In other words, we can use advertising to advertise our program, people will see. And I've just had that, yes, when it comes to some of your programs here, they are even highly oversubscribed, particularly in the area of medicine, which I've just been informed now. Your medicine is one of the great programs, and because you have one of the medical great facility, I learned that your anatomy is one of the best in the sub-Saharan Africa here. And that's quite commendable. So if you have some of this and that there, that gives you what we call competitive edge. And so many people will be coming to your university, and as they come to your university, that will be a better way in that kind of thing. So integrated marketing communication, like I said, so that you, when whatever you want to do, you put your communication in such a way that you integrate them and you let people know about them. So which means, is it for advert? If it is, we don't want to advertise our university or advertise anything, so we have to transport system to put that element in it. We put element of public relation, we put element of personal selling, and we put element of packaging and branding. And so Edo University Uzairue can be branded by making sure that some of the things that you do are unique, and you get them well proportioned, you get them well positioned, you get them well packaged, and of course, you also have that. Now that we're in the era of social media, and I expect that your social media handles and all these things should be able to promote and see how they can now get those things, highly projected at that angle. That's quite, yes.
Okay, so sir, so from all you just said, sir, I can deduce that as a leader in an organization, that the 4 P's of marketing should be like a leader should be a master of the 4 P's of marketing, which is the place, product, promotion, and price.
That's not the only piece of marketing we have, if you're now to talk about that. As a matter of fact, we have what we call the extended piece of marketing. Those extended pieces of marketing mean that we talk about physical evidence. So in other words, you should get to have some physical evidence of what you are doing. And apart from that, you talk about process. So it means that the process is there. And apart from the process, you also talk about the one that we talk about people. Because you need people in whatever you are going to do in marketing. So looking at those pieces of marketing, they are very, very clear in whatever you are to do. You got to have your product, you got to have your place, you got to have your price, you got to have your promotion, you got to have your process, you got to have your physical evidence, and of course you got to have your people there and all that. So these are key things that are there and are very, very important when it comes to anything that has to do with result-driven initiative in any system.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, the next question is, what is your general impression about Edo State University Uzairue?
Wow, this is a complete one. My general impression about Edo State University Uzairue is that it's a dynamic university. It's an ever-growing university. It is a university that has now come into the body of other universities to now operate at the top level. And why am I saying at the top level? Because you can see that the serenity of the environment is spectacular. As you are entering the gate and all this thing, you see neatness. You see neatness. And you can see, the greenery. The environment is very commendable. And then the serenity is welcoming. And aside from that, all the programs that are being run in the university, they are fully accredited. In other words, in terms of legitimization of the program, the legitimization is quite commendable. And I also heard that apart from what you do nationally here, you also have what we call international collaboration. I understand the university has some collaboration with some foreign university, which have been made. There is a Sunderland University and all that which you have, and some other university that I can't recall at the moment. So that is enhancing the spirit of internationalization. So Edo University is a university that is poised towards internationalization, and because of that, I understand there are some Cameroonian students that are also some West African and even East African that are here. So that gives a better, impression and a better way to see how the system go to integrate. So to me, that's a very good one. The environment is clean. The students that I see from one way or the other are well behaved, I mean, I didn't see students that are into saggy or whatever. This is like there's a dressing code here, which students also transport that they can to comply to the dressing code. And the workforce that are here, they are humble and then ever engaging and try as much as they can to support one. And the Department of Mass Communication that came to do this assignment, I want to commend the Dean of the faculty there, and then to commend the former Dean, that's Professor Andrew Asanate, who has been very dogged in this Department of Mass Communication and all that. And then Dr. Akpo, who is also the president head of the department, and Dr. Oli. All of them have been very, very supportive, and I want to commend them for what they have done so far, so good. So as you are doing this thing, all you need to do is to project your student, project your system, and even the faculty among the lecturers that are coming, just see how you can also have some kind of involvement of other things, and see that you have record of your student wherever they are, and then see that at the end of the day, they should be the one leading in the media industry, and not only in the media industry, in other establishments and in other sectors, so that together you'll be proud of your department, proud of your faculty. And I want to commend you because I also understand that the communication program that used to be BASCOM has also gone through what we call the unbundling. I understand that the program has been unbundled. You now have your BSc broadcasting, you have media, and they also have BSc media studies and whatever, and then of course they take on journalism and also part of journalism media studies. These are the unbundling initiatives you started, and I believe that as time goes on and all that, you may come up with my own darling program, which is public relations and advertising, to be part of the unbundling program that will be here, because that to me is my darling, public relations and advertising. And so, but I believe that as time goes on, that will be. And so when you do this thing clearly, you'll find yourself operating not only in the Faculty of Communication, you'll be operating in the Faculty of Management Sciences. Because communication today is no longer art, it is art and social science. It is also management. Yes. And that is why management is key. Anybody who is in communication today, he is doing management course. And because he's doing management course, he must try as much as he can to study the dynamics that are expected and that are there in all dimensions. So I want to thank you for this, and I want to believe that with that we'll move on together. Thank you, sir.
I'm sure Edo State University, as a world-class institution, will try its very best to maintain the high standards. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us for today's program. I really want to appreciate you for coming, sir.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much. Yes, I appreciate it.
So, thank you. And to our viewers out there, thank you for staying tuned and join us again for another interesting edition. Please try and follow, like, and subscribe to all our social media platforms. On Instagram at PeakFM90.5, on Facebook, PeakFM90.5, Edo State University Campus Radio, and on YouTube at EDSU TV. I remain Kenneth Isoya. Goodbye.